Welcome to this economic lecture series. In this lecture, we are going to take the rights of consumer under the electricity rule, that is the 2020. So, what are the rights of consumers have been given, have been discussed? All those things you will see in this lecture. So, as we know that right now there is a monopoly of the DISCOM. So, the people of the India don't have an opportunity to bargain. Okay, so that's why this electricity rules 2020 is very important, as it safeguard, it gives the right to the consumers for the bargain, for they want, for the for the distributor, they will take, they will take the electricity, they will buy the electricity from the distributor from their choice only. Okay, so right now they don't have any choice, it is a DISCOM only. So that's why government have envisaged, having given terms, having given rules for the electricity rules as the right of consumers. So all those things we will see in this lecture. Before moving ahead to this lecture, I will request you to please go through this video lecture till the end so that you will have a complete picture of it. Further, I will request you to please subscribe this channel. This is a new channel, so I really need your support. So as I've discussed that right now DISCOM has a monopoly over it. So it is the DISCOM which have the duty to distribute electricity to the end user right now. Okay, and it is owned by the private companies or the state governments, where the central government also sometimes used to intervene into it. So the central government had pointed that this DISCOM have monopolized the market, where users do not have options to choose the buyers. So as a result, consumers could not demand quality of electricity. In the villages till now the electricity is not provided, at least even I think 10 hours in my village only, the 10 hours or the 12 hours this electricity is being provided. So it should be by 24/7 electricity. It is a mandatory for everyone. So thus government of India notified the electricity as the rights of consumers. Under this rights of consumer, there will be 24 into supply of electricity, where the households and the agriculture, certain agriculture sector will also be included, but in the agriculture sector there is some subsidies, and also as per it some actions will be that will be included under it, but the households will have to be get 24 into supply of electricity should be there, and it should be disrupted. Then if it is being disrupted, if they are not being provided the 24/7 line, then the fine will be imposed, and ultimately whatever the fine will be collected will be transferred to the consumers only. Okay, so this was the introduction part. So what is the influence over it? Which areas these rights of consumer under the Electricity Act of 2020 will be covered? So areas that it will cover, the interest of the consumer, first the interest of consumers will be taken. And one more thing, there is a concept that is going on, that is tagged by Tata also, solar plant, and so it is something like right now the plan has been implemented, and then somewhere in some regions it is going on also. So the households will be will have a solar plate over it. Okay, now when the solar plate have been given to the household, so it will what, it will generate certain amount of electricity. Okay, and this electricity will be transferred to the distributor centers and all, and after that this house is also getting electricity from the distributor center. Ultimately, let us suppose this household has transferred the electricity of 10 units. Okay, and this household consumed electricity from the distributor, from the DISCOM, is of 90 unit. Okay, so what is the actual unit that he consumed? That will be 80. 90 minus 10, because 10 unit this household generated itself through the solar plant. So 10 unit he transferred to them, and 90 units he consumed. So the effective that the net use of the unit by this household is 80 units. Okay, so that is the concept that is going on right now, because to go as our Paris Agreement deal of the 2015, we are moving ahead to the renewable source of energy. So this concept is also very effective for India. Okay, so obligations for the distribution licenses should be there. So quality of the licenses that will be distributed, it will be based upon the certain parameters, like the quality of electricity should be there, hours of electricity, how much hours of electricity you are supplying, electricity supply for agriculture sector and the household. So those parameters will be included. So what are the provisions for the net and grossing metering? So that just now I have explained you an example with the house and the solar plant. So same example is given here. So a household, let us suppose, supplied 10 units of energy from the solar energy and consumed 100 units from the DISCOMs. Okay, the net metering, what will happen? 100 minus 10, that will be your 90 units. Okay, so gross metering refers to the concept of where households will paid separately for 10 units and charge separately for 100 units. So what is it telling? That actually it is like what, that the households will have to pay money for 90 units. Now what DISCOM is telling, no, we have supplied you rupees 100 units to you, you have consumed 100 units, pay us the money for 100 units and we will pay you back for 10 units after that to whom you have supplied for the solar energy. Okay, so in that case, this is something called as gross metering concept, and that's what DISCOM is demanding, that make it as a gross metering, because it is just a loss for us, because we don't know from whom they have purchased, from whom they are selling, and it is a time taking process. So this is what DISCOM is demanding. Whatever the electricity we have provided to you, whatever the unit you have consumed, just give us the money for that. We don't want any deduction for that. Whatever the electricity you have supplied to another center, take the money from them, and then it will fund, because DISCOM is already in the stress. So that is the demand from the stress, that is the demand from the DISCOM. Okay, so this concept is something called as a gross metering, and if you divide from 100 minus 10, that is something, net means difference only, so that is something called 90 units. And if you are paying separately for 100 and you are getting money separately for 10 units, it will something called as a gross metering concept. Okay, so gross metering refers to the concept where households will be paid separately for 10 units and charged separately for 100 units. So DISCOM want to shift to gross metering concept as they are incurring some losses due to it. And what are the another areas that will be covered under this policy? So release of new connections guidelines will be there, grievances redressal mechanism should be there, that is a very important thing, and compensation mechanism should be there. So like suppose if the distribution agencies failed to provide you electricity for 24/7, so then fine will be imposed, and that fine will be ultimately transferred to the consumers only. So that was the influence for it. So standard of service will also be defined by the government under this that is your electricity rights of consumers, and where companies have to display all their services on the website, what are the services they are provided, and as per that consumers will go and choose their services. Okay, like right now we have what, we have Airtel, we have Jio, we have Vodafone and all. So what we have, we have the ability to choose whatever the service provider we want. So in case of getting electricity in normal areas, we will be of 7 days. In case of that normal areas will be a 7 days, difference time period will be given based upon the regions only. Okay, so this is the condition. Like if you want any new connection, so within 7 days electricity connection should be provided to that particular house, and yes, and this number of 7 days will vary from region to region. Okay, in early days. Later if it has been implemented successfully by that region, within the 7 days if they are unable to provide, then the fine will be imposed. Those kind of guidelines will be given under this provision. Okay, so I hope you have understand this video lecture. Please like and subscribe. This is a new channel, so I really need your support further. If you want any on demand video lecture, please feel free to ping on my Twitter handle. Thank you.